He had a gun with him. The other one, he had a knife. He said, "Don't move. If you scream, I'm going to kill your son." It was not my first time being abused. When I was 21 years old, people broke into our house. I don't know if they wanted to kill us, but I know that they wanted to rape me. We were sleeping. It was in the middle of the night. So I heard people outside, but I thought people were just passing. Then later I heard the dog barks and I was just like, maybe something is happening. But before you know it, people broke in. When I looked, it was two guys, and in the house it was me. My son was 3 years, and my brother. It was only the three of us. So they came straight to me. The other guy went to my brother. He had a gun with him. So the other one came to me. He had a knife with him. So he took my son and threw him to my brother, to this other guy. When I was looking, I was still shocked. I didn't know what was happening at that time. And before you know it, the other guy was like, "If you scream, we're going to kill you and your brother and your son." So I had to cooperate. He took out a belt and he said, "Don't move." So he took the belt, he tied my hand and tied it on the bed. He used the knife to tear my pajamas. And when he saw me, he's like, "You're even dirty. Why do you have so much hair on you?" He took out a nail cut. He started shaving me with it. I tried to move to fight, but I couldn't. Before you know it, he was on top of me. He raped me. And when he was done, he was like to his friend, "Hey Joe, do you want to come?" And that guy, without saying anything, he jumped and he came on top and he raped me also. So when I thought that one was done, so the one who was on top of me was like, "Hey Joe, it's getting late. Let's go before they find us." So the other guy was not like, "No, I still need to finish." So he came for the second time and he raped me again. I didn't know them because their faces were covered. Sunday morning, the first thing that I did, I called my sister and I was like, I was raped. So she said, "Go to police station." And I'm like, I can't go to police station because they had promised if I go there, they will find out and they will come back for us. I went to the hospital with my pastor's wife because she works there. When I got there, the nurse who was helping me was very friendly. She told me to calm down, to relax, that she was not gonna hurt me. She was just trying to help me. She took me to the hospital and I was examined. They gave me the pills, I think about 32 pills to drink at the same time. From there, I went to their place. That's where I stayed until, I think I stayed there about 8 months. It was not my first time being abused. When I was 13 years old, my stepfather tried to rape me. When I disclosed it to my parents, my mom ran away with him. We were sleeping in the kitchen. My mom and the boyfriend was in the bedroom. So when we were sleeping in the middle of the night, I heard somebody pulling the blankets and he touched my private part. When I screamed, he ran to the bathroom. So my mom came and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "He tried to take off my panties." So I screamed. And my mom was like, "No, go back to sleep. He will not do it." In the morning, my mom came in and she's like, "I spoke to him. Please don't tell your grandmother because he's not gonna do it again." There was no way I was going to keep quiet because, I still have to stay with this guy and he tried to rape me. I told my grandmother and my grandmother she went to them and confronted them. After the night my mom left, she supported him instead of being with me. So it was not for the first time. I blamed myself for the entire 3 years. Maybe I was not supposed to say it because now she left. After that, she came back 3 years later. I could see that she was sick. I started building my relationship with her at that time. The second time I got raped, when I was coming from the shop, I could feel, there's somebody walking with me. So when I turned to look, the guy was just passing. I'm like, no. Just after I crossed the street where I was staying, there's a pole. So I saw a guy standing there Just a minute after I passed, he's like, go where I'm gonna direct you to go. And he walked in front of me. I did not recognize those two guys. The other guy that I suspected that he was coming after me, he was now here. So he's like, don't scream, don't say anything, walk with us. He took me to the stadium. He's like, you are going to cooperate. I know your son, his name is Tiamo. Like, he was just talking a lot of things. And it's like, you see your brother is not here. Your son also will go. You need to cooperate. Okay, it's like, take off your pants. I wanted to say no, but the fact that somebody is threatening me, like, I'm going to kill your son, and I knew he will do it. I took off my jean. He said, lie down. And when he said that, already I knew what was going to happen. And I took off my jean. He took out my panty, and he raped me. When he was done, he said to his friend, are you coming? So I turned and looked at his friend. We made eye contact. And what he said was, I can't do it. I fear God. The first guy he said, stand up, wear your clothes. If you say something or anything, just know that we will come for you. Your house is there. We know everyone in the house. I will cooperate. I will not go to police. Just don't kill me. Let me go home. That's how I left. I left everything. And getting home, I just kept quiet. I did not report anything for the sake of my son's life, for the sake of my sister's life. But 3 weeks later, I was feeling some things in my body. And I'm like, let me go to the clinic. Because also my period had stopped. I don't know why. I told the nurse that I'm here to do pregnancy test, and I also want to do HIV test because I feel like I'm HIV. That's how I felt. But I did not tell them that I was raped. The nurse took the pregnancy test and it came out negative. So she said, I'm gonna take you to someone who will take you the test, but he's going to cancel you first. We went in there, the guy started canceling me, and to be honest, I was just off. So eventually he took the blood. While we were watching whatever that was happening there, I stood up and I just went to the window. I looked outside. I'm like, when you're done, let me know the results. When I was looking outside, I'm like, you know what, God, should the results come back positive, just know that I'm going to kill myself, even kill my son if possible, but I cannot deal with HIV. I've dealt with a lot of things. He said, come, the results are ready, let's see. I went there, and when I looked, the results were negative. So I was like, kanjani? They can't be negative. It has to be positive. I mean, based on what I've went through, I'm expecting I'm HIV positive. I was afraid, and I did not want people to start judging me for what happened. So the whole time I kept my emotions, and I didn't want to say anything to anyone. I remember one time there's a guy, he was like, I've heard what happened, and I'm sorry. For me, that's what I didn't want from people. Didn't want them to feel pity, and I didn't want people to know. But I know that people found out, and yeah, it was out there. I don't want to talk about it. But at the same time, I was going through these emotions that I didn't know how to deal with them. I developed this, or I built a wall around me where I didn't want men close to me, and I struggled with that for a long time because of what happened with my stepfather. I mean, it was somebody I trusted. Now, when he tried to do that, then I can't trust men. At some point, I was depressed. So many times, I wanted to kill myself. I did not see any purpose of me being alive. I didn't even want to be here. It made me feel like the world doesn't need you. See how they've treated you. See how they've molested you. Or emotionally. I think most of people took it like I was this moody person. Because people will sit there and talk, I will just be quiet. People will laugh, but I will still be quiet. So yeah, it affected me badly, especially when it comes to relationships. It was difficult for me to trust a man. I stayed long without dating. I think at some point I thought maybe I don't have feelings anymore because I did not feel anything. Being here is a miracle, God's grace. Because in my own knowledge or in my own power, I wouldn't be here. I'm still here to tell the story. It's one of the things that I am still trying to overcome. Building relationships, honestly, is difficult. Sexual relationships, the same. Seeing myself with somebody on top of me is a difficult topic. I think it takes emotions, mental health, my strength, and everything. So I am trying to get there. Support has been excellent. I think that's why I'm here today, because of the support, especially from my twin sister, my colleagues, but most importantly from the person who brought me to Pretoria, the person who adopted me here. He's been so supportive, emotionally, financially, mentally. He's been there. It's what really pushed me to be the woman I am today, to the point where I started writing a book. I released a book of what happened in my life. I want to say to the perpetrators that what you did nearly destroyed me. You destroyed my confidence, destroyed my self-worth at the time. But I want to tell you that I forgive you, not for you, but for myself, because I need to move on. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, my plea is don't do it to any other woman. If I was able to carry the load, the next woman might not be able to. So please, don't do it. I decided to share a story because there was a time I wanted to talk, but I couldn't. But when I regained my strength, I decided to be a voice of the voiceless. I wanted women to know that you are not alone in this. And if I could survive, you also can survive. You don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to see yourself as nothing. There's more to life than what happened. And whatever that happened, it wasn't your fault. It happened, it's in the past. What you can do is to stand up, remember who you are, remember why you were born. Before everything happened, you had goals. So start focusing on those goals. Try by on all means to stand up and bring other women into this table or this room of healing so that we can heal each other. So the purpose of me coming out was to help the next women to see their potential and to know that healing is possible.